Hey everyone, thanks for watching. Don't forget to click the subscribe button and the bell icon so you'll get notified of each new video as they come out.
Hey everybody, I'm JJ Johnson. You're watching Reality Survival, and today it's just time for a real quick reality check. Just want to debunk what I think is a self-defense myth that seems to get perpetrated a lot on the internet and stuff, especially in like women's self-defense classes and stuff. And I don't know why this seems to be so popular, but anyway, it's talking about keys and holding keys in your hand like this, you know, when you're walking through a parking lot or something, so that you could hit somebody, and I guess the idea is that you're going to hurt them. This is a terrible idea in my opinion, and primarily because it's going to end up hurting you more than it's going to hurt them. You know, keys are not sharp enough to do any real penetrating unless you just happen to get lucky enough to hit an eye or something. Then maybe you're okay. But in that case, you would actually be just as good to poke somebody in the eye, because you can control your fist a whole lot better than you can control a fistful of keys, or you can control your finger. So it's kind of dumb. And the other thing is that when you have keys in your hand, between your fingers like this, and you do any kind of punching or anything like that, it hurts your hands a lot, okay? And the reason is these keys are pieces of metal, and when you hit them, if it doesn't hit, exactly right or whatever, it's going to be putting pressure on the sides of your finger bones, which are not actually that big and fairly easy to break. So I just think that this is a terrible idea all the way around. I think it gives people a false sense of security. It's not very effective. And in all reality, especially if the person is wearing, any kind of coat, jacket, or anything along those lines, you're not going to really do any damage to them. You're not going to penetrate through that. Maybe, like I said, if you hit them in the face, if they were, not aware enough to allow you to hit them in the face or something, but chances are that's going to be bladed or whatever, blocked to some degree. And even if it's not, the chances of you getting an actual something that doesn't just really piss them off and hurt more, is pretty high. I think it's just not really going to work. I obviously, on my channel, I have talked about the need for everyone to carry a firearm, and I think that is the correct answer when it comes to self-defense. Now, for some reason, if you find yourself in a situation where you can't carry a firearm, I'd say go to pepper spray or OC spray or a baton, whatever is legal for your state, next. If for whatever reason you don't want to do that, maybe look at tasers. I've talked in a couple of different videos about less than lethal type options, and so that could be an option. And at the very least, you could look at doing something like this, where this is just a very basic kind of a fist load, and all I've done is taken a carabiner, put a little bit of Gorilla Tape on there so that it fits my hand to just perfectly, and then I can actually hit pretty hard with that without it hurting my hands. And this is actually, if you hit somebody with this, even straight in the chest or in the chin, uppercut, across the head, whatever, that's going to actually hurt a lot. It's going to do significant damage, because it's a solid piece of steel right there, and there's no collapsing in on your hand because of the shape of the carabiner there. So it's sort of like the idea of like a brass knuckles thing, but it's as far as I know, it's legal to carry a carabiner everywhere. So that might be something that's pretty inconspicuous. You could do this, walking through a parking lot and have it in your hand. It wouldn't be a big deal if you felt like you needed to be ready. That's kind of how they have always described this whole keys thing, is having it ready in your hand, and that way you could strike really quick. Well, if that's the case, if that's what you're working with, then something like a carabiner or whatever would work just fine as well. It can sit in your purse. It's not dangerous. If you've got kids and stuff like that, they can play with it and it's not going to hurt anything. They can sit there and play with the gate and all that kind of stuff. One thing I will say is, if you're going to do it, you want to try to get one that's a locking carabiner. That's gonna keep that gate from opening up in your hand, and make it a little bit better. I think I picked this up for like 10 bucks, you know, so they're fairly cheap, and I would say it's a better alternative than having keys in your hand. All right, guys, so I also wanted to add in here that if a carabiner is not something that you're comfortable with or whatever, you know, for whatever reason, maybe your hand doesn't fit into one that you can find, or you'd like some other kind of fist load option, you know, what is this one? This is the M1X Striker from Olight. It's got a really crenulated bezel on there. It's got these big kind of, you know, pokey things that stick out of it. And and basically that's designed to be able to be used as a self-defense light, so that you can, you know, you can use it obviously to shine a light on somebody and to let them know that you're there, you know, kind of use that authoritative voice and kind of defuse the situation before it ever begins. That's one part of it, but the other part of it is if the perpetrator or the bad guy, the whatever you want to call him, you know, does continue to come in close to you and gets within striking distance, then you can, you know, straight hit them right in the face or whatever. Even just jabbing them in the chest is going to hurt. Anything like that is going to be better than having those keys in your hand. So, you know, a flashlight like this is another option as well, aside from just the carabiners, because I know carabiners can be kind of, you know, you really need your hand to fit well into it, and that's kind of why I took that Gorilla Tape and put it on there, because you want it to fit well so it doesn't move when you hit. But a flashlight's another option, and that's going to keep your hand from collapsing also. It's also going to act as a fist load type deal, so that if you punch, it's not going to hurt your hand as much, and it's going to be a more effective punch as well. Plus you've got the option of, like I said, you know, hitting them with this. So anyway, yeah, we need a new tactical bob. Tanner has pretty much torn his head off. Anyway, guys, I hope that's been helpful. Just wanted to put this real quick video out there, try to debunk this self-defense nonsense that is out there. But again, I really do think that a firearm should be your first option, and hopefully you're in a state, you don't live in a communist or socialist state where you can't carry, you know, concealed or whatever. But that's really the way to go. If you've got to go less, then, you know, go down in increments of effectiveness, you know. So anyway, guys, always appreciate it when you click the thumbs up button, when you share it with your friends on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. And don't forget to live the 6 Ps. Proper prior preparation prevents poor performance. Hey, and if you like the t-shirt, you can always get them at Teespring down in the little bar below. And that helps out the channel a lot when you guys buy the t-shirts, so I appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Take care.